website if she can download it.
Hello, it's ThinkTech. It's ThinkTech Thursday. It's Aloha United We Stand.
Yes.
And we got the boss lady next to me, the Aloha United We Stand lady, Cindy Adams. And next to her is Thomas Kiyabu, and they have a relationship. You want to disclose, you guys?
Yes.
Disclosure.
33 years.
33 years, yeah.
Partnerships.
Yeah. You guys ought to get married, yeah.
Business-wise, yes. We already are.
Oh, yes, right. So
Yes.
this is one of those things
Yeah.
where it's marriage, but it's also a business marriage. And in order to explain that, we have to tell you that Thomas is the package division manager, Hawaii division, South California district.
That's
okay. And God, I wish I had your job. You know, you must have so much stuff going on. I mean, really, all the stuff about UPS, for a long time was only UPS, right? That was it. Back in the 30s or the 20s.
That's correct.
And now look, you have all this competition, but you also have all this business, huge amount of business. Everything is shipped by air freight. Everything is
That's
shipped.
right, to Hawaii.
Yeah. So how do you like your job?
Well, it's thank goodness to Cindy and many of you that go online and shop. It's booming our business by 10
Speaking
to
for my wife,
12%.
you're welcome.
And so we're delivering every doors now and delivering our packages, especially Amazon.
Especially Amazon.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Amazon, one click, bang.
That's correct.
right, yeah. Amazon Prime.
You know, I mean, you can, and soon food.
That's right.
And
That's
soon comes
picking
a
up as
little
well.
drone.
Yes, yes.
Did
Amazon's doing that.
you ever see the ad about the ice fishing? It was a
No.
beer in the state of, I want to say,
Is
a
this
cold
Minnesota?
state, a state of
Minnesota.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, right?
Minnesota, probably.
And these guys were fishing on a lake. This is relevant, I tell you. It is relevant.
Okay. We're waiting.
And there's a general store, an old, log cabin general store on the lake, and there's all these fellows out on the lake in their little fishing houses on the lake. And there's a drone on the porch of the general store. And the clerk from the store comes in, he puts a six-pack in the drone, and the drone takes off and flies out to the center of the lake, comes down, and all these guys take their beer.
Delivers the
Okay,
beer.
and they made a YouTube video of this. And then the FAA got involved.
Oh.
You can't do that.
That's right.
But it is a sign of the times.
It is,
you know.
it is,
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
So has UPS got drones?
We did some
Is that right?
experiment on those, but you still have to have line of sight.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not
right.
like you can fly everything out of there and then and deliver the packages. I mean, that's not going to work with FAA too. So
Yeah, no, not, well, they're coming around. Hawaii is a test site. Hawaii and Alaska are in some kind of combination
Oh, I didn't
test
know
site,
that.
yeah.
Oh.
The problem is, this is Hawaii. Number one is we have fair density where we live.
Yes,
And number
right.
two is we know how to protest.
Yes.
We are experts in
Yes,
saying
we are,
no.
we are. I think there's also a lot that they need to figure out with drones in terms of certainly privacy, but there are a number of other issues as well that are just kind of, whether or not it's practical for a lot of the ideas that they've come up with. It'd be really cool. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel by the time you're celebrating your 50th anniversary, we're going to
Okay.
be living in a world of
Okay,
drones.
I agree.
And Thomas
That's
will
right.
still be there.
if I'm alive,
So what is it like to run the package division here?
well, I've been here since 1975 when we first came to Hawaii,
I was 12.
and at that time was just a post
Cindy
office.
wasn't born.
That's right, she wasn't born. And when I talked this story to my people, majority haven't been born. There's no doubt about it.
Interesting.
But when I first started, I was a driver a long time ago, and it was just a post office UPS. And local people never knew what UPS was about. Absolutely no one. Except if you're from the mainland, you receive gifts.
Yeah.
Because the big brown comes in here, no one knows about it. I'm knocking on doors. They wouldn't open the door for me to deliver a package. They wouldn't allow me to sign.
right?
It was very difficult in 1975, 1976. But eventually became a norm to a point from 2,000 packages that we first started in 1976 to 33,000 we're doing today. Presently, 33,000
Per day.
Yeah, when then we're
Isn't that
going
amazing?
to per day.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we
everything
go
is.
into Christmas, it's going to be close to 50,000 packages. Yeah, so
I
it's
got to buy the
pretty
stock
busy.
immediately. That's where it's going. You've seen all the technological changes, you know, the way conveyor belts and computers
Oh,
and
absolutely.
addressing and all that. You know.
There was not a single computer when I first started
Wow.
in UPS. To now is, I'm overwhelmed with technology.
So your facility is down near the airport, is it?
That's correct. That's where our airplanes land. We have four planes that land in to Hawaii every day.
I went
Wide
down there
bodies.
to pick up a package recently, and I had to drive down that road on the left. I forget what you call that road.
Lagoon Drive.
Lagoon Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the way down there. And it was great. It was very efficient. I came out, gave me the package in my car.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
Yeah. Wow, you're special.
Well, they knew I knew you. So why is it interesting as a business relationship? This is the cliffhanger. Why
Right.
is it interesting as a business relationship that you guys, you know, have? What is your business relationship?
Yeah, you know, when you think about it, UPS always believed in giving back to the community, not just in Hawaii, but corporate-wide. And that was the founders when we started in 1907, always giving back to the community. In 1982, as CEO decided to say, what can we do? Who can we look for as far as an agency that best fits the needs of that's very efficient, and that goes into grassroots, understand what the problems are, utilize the funding, make best use of the dollars. And we started that campaign in 1982, and we generated somewhere around $3 million in the first year.
For community
Corporate-
funds.
Community funds overall.
Did you give it to Aloha United Way?
Yes, went to United Way overall, America, and of course, we had a partnership with AUW at the time.
Yeah.
33
Is that how
years.
you met?
Yes. 1982. She wasn't born yet. But
There we go.
yeah. So 33 years go by, and we've generated $1.3 billion. You know, that's coming from our people. It's not simply corporations' participation. $1.3 billion include 95% coming from our people. So our people firmly believe that it's so important to give back to the community. It's no different than Aloha United Way in Hawaii and what we do and what Aloha United Way represents and how important it is in our belief in what we do in UPS.
That's interesting. I mean, let me throw one at you. You know, your people go out into the community. They walk the streets. They talk to the people. These days, they get them to open the door.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe not then,
Right.
but now
Right.
they do.
Right.
And they are delivering goodness.
Right.
Delivering my one-click Amazon delivery. Make me feel happy all over. Okay? So this is a moment of goodness, you know.
That's
And
correct.
so there's probably some ethic inside your delivery people anyway, or all your people, to say, we deliver, we improve your life.
That's correct.
We give you what you want.
Right, right. And you know, as a UPSer, they're always welcome because they're looking for something that we're going to deliver. But 19,000 doors we knock on every day right now. And our drivers hear and see what's going on. They hear it from their customers, the stories that they hear.
Sure.
And they feed it back to our part-time group. And we listen as leaders in UPS and realize that there is a lot of challenges out there beyond what the newspapers are.
Socially in the state.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you guys compare notes at the end of the day?
No, not really, but you know, it's just side stories and things that we talk about. So when we just completed our campaign this year,
Yeah.
and a Aloha United Way campaign for UPS, and we exceeded our goal by 113%.
That's fabulous.
And one thing that's I'm really, really proud of Hawaii is that 9 out of 10 of our employees were donors. And that matters because now I know the team as a whole believes that the community need our help. And that really makes a difference when I look at things.
Now, this had nothing to do with the fact that you're married to Aloha United.
That was part of it too. There was a threat that's coming from the boss there.
Were you looking
There-
for 115%?
Wow, so all of our business partners, all of the organizations that participate in the campaign set internal goals in terms of what they hope to achieve. But I think, you know, there are a couple of things that are really special about this particular relationship, meaning UPS and United Way worldwide. One is that UPS in general has a very high level of participation in their employee base. So the 90% that Thomas talked about is fairly unusual in terms of level of participation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, it always comes from, kind of flows down from, leadership, right? Leadership is the one that sets the examples. That's part of it. The other piece about it is the nature of the work that they do in the community, which is they deliver packages. And so they have very significant exposure to the community on a daily basis. And we're talking about people, they're delivering packages to people in their homes and apartments, at work. And so, as Thomas said, they really see what's happening in the community. And so I think that for UPS is a very special connection for their employees. Globally, UPS has donated more than $1 billion to United Way worldwide. And so that is a reflection of their commitment to and their relationship with United Way globally, not just Aloha United Way, but it translates to Aloha United Way as well.
Okay, I want to take a short break.
Okay.
Come back, I'd like to get your perception from your experience and the experience of the people who are doing, your outreach delivery about how we're doing in Hawaii.
Okay.
We'll be right back. It's Thomas Kiyabu and Cindy Adams, both essentially with UPS. Except Cindy also runs the Aloha United Way. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hi, my name's Cindy Matsuki, and I host the show High Growth with HTDC on ThinkTech Hawaii. This is the show where we talk about all things tech, innovation, entrepreneurship, and manufacturing, because there's so many things going on in Hawaii and more people should know about them. So this is the program that you can come and find out about all the things happening in Hawaii. And this show also airs on Olelo 54 along with ThinkTech Hawaii. And it broadcasts live every other Tuesday at 3 p.m. So don't forget, check out the show Tuesday, 3 p.m. every other week. High Growth with HTDC. Thanks.
Aloha, my name is Jim Shawn, and I'm host of a show called Education Movers, Shakers, and Reformers. Each week, live streaming at noon on ThinkTech Hawaii, we interview people who have special insights into education, from early education through K-12, all the way through higher education and beyond. Both public and private are areas we're interested in. We dig deeper. We try to find out what it's really like to be involved in making change, advocating for it, how you reform, what people's philosophies are in reforming it. As I said, we're live streaming every Wednesday at noon on ThinkTech Hawaii. And later on, you can find these interviews on YouTube and on the Hawaii Educational Policy Center website. We hope you join us as many times as possible. Aloha.
Okay, we're back, we're live, we're sitting having a good time show, I must say. So Thomas, not so good time we're having in Honolulu, and we've heard it from, dozens and dozens of Cindy's beneficiaries and people about, how the social structure, the social world, the socioeconomic, relativity is doing. That means polarized.
Right.
In Hawaii. But I wonder what your experience is and what your delivery people's experience is when they come back and, tell you what they learn, see, do. What messages are you getting about where we are in the economic continuum?
Well, as I mentioned, they deliver to every street, every hill, every mountain. We deliver everywhere. And because they're the ambassador of UPS, they hear a lot. They hear the stories of jobs that they lost, or the illnesses of the families, or the health care that's gone.
They're good listeners, eh?
And they hear it, and that's the connection that they have with the customers, because their job is really to take care of the customers, aside from delivering packages. So there's a lot of compassion involved in the connection.
That's great.
With the people.
I think I'm going to order more stuff.
Your
Where do
wife
you
will
get your
be
therapy
happy.
funding?
And while they're doing this, they're very productive, of course, because they have to deliver the 160 stops a day that they're
160?
required to do every day.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
a lot of
there's a
work. That's a
connection
lot.
out there, and then when they put it together and they bring it back to their friends and families, they realize that a lot of the nonprofit organizations are things that are there for them to use. And sometimes they'll share it with their customers to call 211, for example, Aloha United Way, and from there they can give some advice on where to go as far as getting more information.
211? Tell us about 211.
You don't know about 211?
No, I'm ignorant. Yeah,
Okay,
tell us
you're
about
not ignorant,
211.
but let me educate you. Let me
Please.
educate the audience. So 211 is a number that anybody in the state of Hawaii can call. There's no charge associated with it, and it's a referral service. So it's actually, we actually have people at Aloha United Way who answer the phone, and people will call and say, I'm looking for it's the end of the month, we don't have enough money to put food on the table. Can you please tell me where the nearest food bank or food pantry is? And so our 211 operators or agents will say, can you please tell me do you mind sharing what your zip code is or which town you're in so that we can find the closest food bank for you? Or they'll say, I've recently become homeless, I'm not really sure, is there a place that I can stay? What are the rules? So things like that. They're looking for help. And so it's a referral service.
But it's also an emergency service. in a sense.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And we operate it 5 days a week from 7 or 7:30 in the morning until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. And we make these referrals. If you think about it as we have a huge database with both nonprofit, and private sector service providers. And that's what we access in order to make the connections for the callers. People can go to our website and go through the same database to look for information.
But it's easier to talk to somebody.
It's easier, well, many people, particularly in a situation where they're homeless or they're looking for food, would like to get they have questions, right? So they actually want to talk to somebody. It makes the process a little bit easier. And 211 is actually a number that's available, I think, in 48 of the 50 United States. The United Ways support a
just here,
211
though.
service. That's correct, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we take a number of calls, and the vast majority of the calls, especially more recently, like in the last 3 to 5 years, have been around shelters or housing and utility assistance and food pantries and food banks.
Utility assistance means my lights got turned off.
Or they're going to be turned off unless
Yeah.
I can pay the bill.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's from all of us.
Yes.
Well, some of us. Okay, so we have a trend going here, and you've been following it from your vantage. It's very interesting to talk to somebody who can, spot the trend. It's like a chart, little dots on it.
Right.
Takes you in a direction. What direction have we been going as far as, UPS is concerned in the community?
I think every year we get better in what we do. And our success of the campaign simply didn't come. People just won't give money because they work really hard.
Yeah.
And everywhere else too. I understand that. But when we start educating our people every year, and when we bring nonprofit organizations to share what they do, it matters. It gives them choices what to do. AUW under Cindy's leadership has done an inspired job, because we can also donate to the community funds where they make the decisions what to do with the funds.
Now, Cindy was saying that in the past, 2 years or so, things have changed in the sense that the 211 number gets a lot of calls from people who are going homeless or having the utilities turned off or getting hungry. Are your drivers seeing that? Are they seeing, the ragged edges increasing? Have they seen any indication of that, just going out into the community?
I think the social issues have always been there, but not in the media, there's a lot more about homelessness that's going on.
Yeah.
But within UPS, you see more than homelessness. They see it out there on the beach sides as they deliver along the coastlines.
Yeah.
But now they also understand the internal issues, the social issues that exist with their customers. It's sort of always been there. Now, because of the education factor, as we share within UPS and what the nonprofits does, there's more chattering going on within our organization. And every year, not just in Hawaii, but I see an increase as far as pledges that's coming in through, not just in Hawaii, but throughout the entire country
It's a
overall.
national trend.
Yeah, and the need of funding.
I've learned that that a lot from your guests who teach me a lot. Really, I learn a lot. That a lot of the people who are going homeless are ordinary middle-class people who have jobs. They work.
Yes.
Sometimes,
Yes.
more than one job, more than one
Yeah.
parent is working, and they have a certain income, and they try to hold it together, but they cannot afford the rent, period.
Right,
You
right.
can't afford the rent, you're on the street, that's simple. And, one question just dawns on me is that suppose I'm trying to hold my life together, I have my cell phone, I can reach Amazon, I want to order something, I want UPS to deliver it, but I'm living on the beach. How do you guys actually deliver it?
I'm not sure if the driver is, unless he knows at that party or the family at a particular tent, then I don't think he'll be able to do that. But that could be a challenge for us.
Could be a challenge.
Or they could,
Joe Doak's Waianae Beach,
we could always deliver to their aunties or uncles or other family members.
I
a good
think,
idea.
I think homeless people are much more concerned about some basic necessities like shelter
Yeah.
and food.
Yeah, they don't need the latest onion peeler.
That's right, that's right. Yeah. yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the relationship now that actually exists. I heard tell just before the show began that you are the chair for the drive this year, Tom.
Yes,
What's
that's
it
correct.
like being the chair for the drive?
Well, I'm really appreciative of this position. And I'm extremely humbled as I learned the organization's Aloha United Way and being more close on how it works. And many of the nonprofits that I've met, I knew a few, but I met a lot. And when you really truly listen to them, they're specialized in doing something, whether it's taking care of the environment or helping the disabled, or food bank, et cetera, et cetera. But they have the heart in the right place.
Yeah.
They really do when I talk to them. They
Me too,
want to help.
when I talk to them.
Yeah, they
really
really
do.
want to help,
Yeah.
and took the interviews on that.
Yeah.
But they're living on a razor-thin budget. You have the profits and nonprofits. We're a profit organizations, and we find ways how to make a profit. Well, there are companies, nonprofits that will be here today and won't be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or they have to cut services because they don't have funds to buy a van or buy gas to transport people.
And they stop.
And they stop. And it's unfortunate because when you look down the road, who do our people, unfortunate people, reach out to in the future when there's no nonprofits around or they're minimum? Do they reach to the government? Are they going to have an efficient or effective way of getting some benefits back?
Sometimes there might be benefits out there, but you don't know
People
about
don't
the 211.
know.
You don't know.
Right,
exactly.
And so I could imagine being, really discouraged by not having what I need, not knowing where to go, not having anybody who can tell me I don't know 211 yet. And then I stop looking. I give up.
That's right.
I'm sure there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you educate these people, and they know for a fact that they can reach out to a number, it's 211, and get advice, educational advice, or direction where to go, it matters.
Yeah.
So this campaign is all about raising funds to keep these nonprofits and along with AUW alive. It's so very critical. Our people understand that, whether they're new or there's new employees or senior employees out there. How do we get the rest of the business sector to get educated to that?
And that's your target, the business
Right.
sector. So how do you select a campaign manager?
Well, the timing of, it was a surprise for Thomas.
Hi, Tom, there's something I have to tell you.
It was kind of interesting because Thomas and I, so I've been at Aloha United Way for only about a year now, and Thomas and I met probably shortly after I came on board. And it was also shortly after that I became aware of the magnitude of United Way and UPS's relationship and how closely linked they were from a community support perspective. And it was very natural for me as a United Way, you know, president and CEO to say, gee, it seems to me that UPS, that Thomas would be a really great campaign chair, especially given the history of the partnership. And I know it was a little bit of a surprise to Thomas when I asked him, but he was so gracious and agreeable to helping us.
He might be one of your best
in
ever.
in this capacity, yeah. And he's been great. He really is. We are tied at the hip in terms of Thomas working very closely with our fundraising and our marketing team. It's been a really, really great partnership, certainly from our perspective, and I'd like to think for Thomas as well from the UPS perspective.
Sure.
It's been really, really tremendous, and we are certainly so appreciative because he is deeply engaged in all of our campaign activities and has made himself very, very available to us in terms of the company kickoffs that we participate in and meeting with donors.
You know, I mean, sometimes, always, when you see these campaign chairs on all the fundraising that happens in Hawaii,
Yes.
it's an honor.
Well,
It's a huge honor.
it's
I mean,
a
there you are.
tremendous.
Sorry.
It's also a tremendous responsibility,
Yeah.
and I have to say, to all of the business leaders who have been Aloha United Way chair people and who chair fundraising campaigns for all of the nonprofits in the state of Hawaii, it is a tremendous. I'm sure it's perceived as an honor, but it is also a tremendous responsibility and takes a significant amount of commitment and time to be that chair. And so we are hugely appreciative, and I know that all of the nonprofits appreciate their chairs.
Because it's going to benefit everyone.
Absolutely.
So when we come back from this break, Cindy, I want to drill down on that. I want to find out, you know, what Thomas has to do. I want to groom myself for this job. Should I ever be honored in similar fashion? I want to know how to do it, what training I need, what kind of,
Okay.
certainly you have to put in the time, but exactly what do you
Yes.
have to do? We're going to learn something. We're going to show you guys what it's all about.
Aloha, I'm Kirsten Baumgart-Turner, and I host Sustainable Hawaii every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. My guests offer insights on challenging economic and environmental issues facing our state and offer innovative solutions to increasing Hawaii's long-term sustainability. Recently, we've been focusing on sustainable land development, food, and energy security. If you have a project or issue you'd like to discuss on the show or would like to be a guest, please contact me at kirstenbturner@gmail.com and tune in live weekly or view the show at your convenience at thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.
Aloha, this is Reg Baker and I am the host of Business in Hawaii. We talk about positive stories of businesses in Hawaii, how they have been successful and how they have overcome some of the obstacles that a lot of us encounter when we try to have a business here. And believe it or not, there are a number of positive stories here, and we want to talk to all of you. So we broadcast live every Thursday at 2 o'clock. And it rebroadcasts again on Olelo Channel 54. So I sure hope to see you next time. Please tune in on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Aloha, this is Alice V. Hagan from ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show is a bi-weekly show on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. We invite interesting people, entrepreneurs, fascinating leaders who contribute to the social economic well-being of our state. Please tune in to my show, Business Education Spotlight, ThinkTech Hawaii, bi-weekly, Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Aloha.
There, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
We're back, we're live, we're here, we're really getting into it now. But we have a priority item to take care of because we have a tweet. And Cindy looked at the tweet during the break and she wants to answer it.
Yes. So the tweet is from Mark Ward, who's in Chicago. So Mark, thank you very much for engaging in our conversation. And yeah, so Mark says, for me, it is the personal stories, the people telling their stories of how they were saved, helped that inspires giving. It's faces, and it's very, very true. And that's the reason why, actually, when we during this period of time that we're doing the campaign, that we invite and many companies actually are very kind of proactive about this. We invite partner agencies or nonprofits to come in and talk with the companies so that they can share these stories. And sometimes they will bring in clients. It kind of depends. Some of it is confidential, so they don't do that. But where they can bring in a client, they'll bring in a client who can tell their story and why, how they've been helped or why they volunteered with this particular organization. So it really is about saying something that connects to the donor, right? That facilitates kind of the donation process. So thank you, Mark. That is very key.
And it seems to be key to being the campaign chair, too. If you're going to shape the way the campaign goes, you want to get as many testimonials out there as you possibly can from people who were helped.
That's correct.
Because it gets the juices flowing on contribution. Yeah.
Right. The best testimonial that we offer is from our employees, because there's always a story that specific agencies help them along the way, their family, their friends, or their relatives. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that help that makes you want to join in and help them also.
That's correct.
I know when your people come down.
Yes.
I mean, her people are so compelling. I don't know how many you've met, but they're so compelling and so dedicated. It gives me a spiritual transformation every time. And I watch it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to see more. Let me urge. I think Mark Ward watches at 2 o'clock in the morning too.
Well, I think that Thomas had the same experience. So when we did the kickoff at Tamarind Park, Thomas had an opportunity to walk around and talk to all of the nonprofits. So when you refer to the people, you're referring to the partner agencies who that we support. And Thomas had an opportunity to talk to almost every single one of those representatives to understand what they're doing and how they do what they do. And so it's been very helpful in terms of an education process, I know, for Thomas, but also that's kind of what he evangelizes when he's talking to other companies. He shares those stories as well.
Okay, so my question now is, make me Thomas for a minute. So I'm your campaign chair.
Okay.
What do I need to know? How do I reorganize my calendar? How do I reorganize the way I see things
What you
and
do and
talk to people?
Okay.
What do I need to know?
Okay. So I'll share some information with you and then let Thomas kind of fill in the picture. So I think there are some just very basic kind of practical things, which are process.
If you want to write notes down.
that are kind of process oriented, which is to educate the campaign chair on kind of what the campaign is all about, how we run it, talk through a few examples of, because not every campaign is, each company kind of has some things that are specific to the way that they manage their campaign, and make some introductions to the board and to our donors, so that there's some level of familiarity, if that doesn't already exist. And then, once the campaign chair kind of understands how the campaigns are run and what the period of time is, it's really engaging the campaign chair as there are campaign kickoffs. So companies will hold what they call a campaign kickoff, which is their way of saying, we're running the Aloha United Way campaign now. We brought in a partner agency to kind of talk with you about some of the work that they're doing. And it's really helpful to have the campaign chair there to talk about, particularly for Thomas, who can talk to kind of the depth of the relationship with United Way that UPS has, and what that means to UPS employees. Sure, as an example.
You can say they can run parallel to what you do.
Absolutely. And so I think a lot of it for Thomas has been not only an education about Aloha United Way specifically, but we talk to Thomas every single week, multiple times every week, so that he knows where we're at and that he's engaged in our scheduling. But he also not only participates in the campaign kickoffs, but he also has done the morning TV interviews with me, and he's here with us today. So there are lots of opportunities, and it really is only limited by the campaign chair's availability. And Thomas has made himself very, very available. It really depends on who the campaign chair is. There are very practical issues of scheduling. Some are less available than others, but we were very fortunate this year, and Thomas has been very, very flexible.
Well, what kinds of things, have to go on the calendar?
Well, things
for
like
example,
this.
an appearance at ThinkTech.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be
Yes.
the highest possible priority of all, yeah.
Right at the top, right at the top. There have been 2 or 3 5:30 in the morning TV interviews.
I love when they do that.
Yeah.
That's not because you wanted it at 5:30. Somebody else wanted it.
Right, but they have worked out really, really well. We've also had a number of radio interviews, so we go down to the radio stations and do those. And we've had company kickoffs that Thomas has been willing to come out and help us with.
What's a company kickoff? Oh, of the campaign in that company.
Yes, that's correct,
You
sorry.
talk to the employees.
Yes, yeah, and I'll turn it over to Thomas.
Okay, turning it over to Thomas.
I think what's most important is the educational part. You got to be attached to your product or services. Well, it's so hard to sell, hard to believe in it. So getting involved to understand the Aloha United Way, the structure, the marketing department, the sales department, asking them questions. It matters. It helps me. I've been campaigning this for 33 years. I understand the structure. I think we have put together a campaign format that is successful, I think. And that's the reason why we can continue to improve our participation rate along with the dollars.
Can you tell us a little about the format? And what makes this format different from other formats?
First of all, it has to come from corporate. The leadership is most important. As Cindy said, the leadership needs to drive this philosophy of supporting the community. So within UPS, we have a corporate leader. That's the campaign chair. It goes down to the region leader, down to the district, down to the district. And I have my own campaign chairs within the operations.
But it's right at the top.
Yes, exactly.
Of the company.
Right. And this is our philosophy and what we believe in. This is with our policy book and giving back to the community. And that's stated in there. So when you have that kind of support, it helps. And from there, it's a matter of gathering together a good chair or a good group of committees that believes in it too. And every year we rotate.
Are these the worker bees?
These
or-
are supervisors.
Supervisors,
Part-time
yeah,
supervisors
okay.
or even managers.
Yeah.
And for them to get educated, we'll go to nonprofit visits every year. So they can understand, they can understand and embrace the reasons why we're doing this. And I think it's very important. When you have a committee that believes in that, it's easier to sell to the employees. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that's the structure, the basic structure of what any organization should start with.
Leadership by example.
Leadership by example,
Yeah.
and believe in what they're doing. And once you do that, and you show, and then you inspire employees to want to give, because they will start caring for the community. And I think that's important. And that's really the fuel that drives a successful campaign. It starts with leadership.
Yeah. But you also got to go to hotel ballrooms and have rubber chicken.
Yes. I haven't had that yet.
Dinners and making
That's
up the
at the
dinner
end.
speeches.
I think a couple of things that Thomas brought up are really important, and particularly to employees within an organization or a company. One is that they see the commitment on leadership's part, and that's certainly not specific to an Aloha United Way campaign. That is generic to any change or any behavior that leadership is trying to engender within an organization, right? Everybody wants to see it in leadership, and it kind of flows down from there. The second thing is passion and inspiration, because people can see through that as well if that's lacking. You want people to be very passionate about what they're representing or what they're doing, and to be inspirational or inspiring to other employees. So I
Yeah.
think those two things are very important.
Yeah. Well, you guys are a great team. It's really fabulous to see this. I wonder, though, going back to my special sauce question, Why is this year, this campaign, this Aloha United Way campaign,
Right.
different? It's my Passover question.
Okay.
Different from all other campaigns, anywhere, everywhere, at any time in the world.
So, wow, that's an interesting question. I would say two things from my perspective, right? From my vantage point. One is this year we have been very purposeful and cognizant of talking about community impact. And this is feedback that we've gotten from everybody in the community, all the conversations that I've had over the past year. Tell me what my donation, what difference it's making.
It's the metric.
Because in the end, whether you give $1 or you give $10 or you give $10,000, you want to know
a
that you're
result.
making a difference in the community.
Yeah.
So this year specifically, we have been talking about community impact. What is the impact your donation has had in our community? And putting, to Mark's comment, putting a face on the other side of that conversation,
Yeah.
right? And then the second thing is having Thomas, who is heavily engaged in the campaign, actually participating in many of the workplace campaigns and being able to talk from a place of experience in terms of UPS's commitment to the United Way organization. And I think for us in Hawaii at this time, this year, those two things are in combination fairly different, I think,
Yeah.
fairly different.
Okay, well, you guys can, really learn from this show. Hope you look at it later, Some of these points may be useful. But I want to give you an opportunity, Thomas, to look at our people camera. That's a bunch of kids drinking in a bar.
Oh,
Right.
And, see if you can, motivate them.
Okay. Giving back to the community is so very important. We all know for a fact that when you have a healthy community, a lot of things become positive in what we do out there. You have to learn and get educated through, and I'm hoping that our business sectors get involved with United Way, because there's so many business sectors that are not involved with United Way. Ask for your boss to be involved with the employee campaign, because the employee campaign brings morale together when they have choices of who they want to give to or participate. Fundraisers are outstanding, and it's full of fun out there. But the main thing is raising the dollars to take care of the nonprofit organizations. It really does matter. And when we continue to do that, and we care for our community, the community is going to care back to all of us. And the entire state wins by doing the right things. But thank you for people that participated and have given. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Thomas.
that was great.
That was good. Thank you, Cindy.
That was great.
Thomas Kiyabu and Cindy Adams doing the right thing.
Thank you.
so much.
Thanks,
guys.
Jay.
Aloha.
Always, thank you.
You're a wonderful host. You're like a great host.
Isn't it great?